Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video, and welcome to my review of the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Rebel Soldier. This is the Echo Base Battle Gear Rebel Soldier. He is on the Empire Strikes Back card, and of course he is the final figure from the wave of figures that's recently just come out, which I have done all of the other reviews for. So if you've missed the reviews of Quill and the Mythrol and Bo-Katan, they're all on the channel for you to check out. This is the last figure of that wave. I've left it till last because at the end of the day it is a reissue, but there are some differences to check out which we're going to be looking at today. And first of all, let's just check out the differences in the card backs. Alright then, so let's get Skater Bossk out of the way just for a second. We'll just check out the two different card backs, and as you can see here, the one on the right is unpunched, so you can immediately tell that this was the first release. This is the 2010-2011 release. And even back then, this figure was quite hard to get hold of. So he's always been quite an expensive figure on the secondary market. And it's one that collectors have been screaming out for a reissue of, because at the end of the day, he's an army builder. He was difficult to get hold of, expensive on the secondary market. So it's a good one for Hasbro to do. We call it a smart repack. So looking at the card backs there isn't too much difference apart from the fact of the way that the figure is held within the bubble. He has his blaster separate from the figure. And also because of that, the bubbles are a little bit wider, which really does annoy me because you can see more of the image there. It's only very slight, but you can see here the nice thin bubble on this one, and this one's a bit bigger. And as I mentioned before, this figure has been updated ever so slightly, and not just with the photoreal face technology. There are some slight improvements as well, which we will go into in a second. The figure itself is VC68 in the line there. You can see the back of the card there with all the other figures that I mentioned that I've done reviews of. And if we just have a quick look at the back of the original card, you get that lovely history lesson there with an image of the original card back that inspired the release. And yeah, I wish they would continue to do that sort of thing or bring that back, because that was always quite nice to have on the back of those cards. All right, so let's take away the original release for a second because we don't need him anymore. We are going to be taking a look at this guy. As I mentioned, VC68 keeps the number, retains that number. Brilliant image of the character on the card back there with the Kenner logo at the bottom there. Exactly the same name pill, same name and everything. And there he is. So let's crack him open and check out the figure. All right then, so here he is outside of the packaging, and there he is with his photoreal deco on the face. Now sometimes on these older sculpts it doesn't work too well, but on this one I don't think it's too bad. The paintwork looks pretty good. His eyes are straight, his eyebrows are straight and things like that. There you go then, a super zoomed in shot so you can check out that face. Zooming back out. Now, as I mentioned before we took him out of the packaging, this was definitely a highly requested figure. It's an army building figure, and as I mentioned, it was really hard to get hold of even back in the day. So really good that we finally got him. I never actually had this figure loose, so I'm really happy that I've finally got this figure loose. He'll go very nicely with the Luke Skywalker, which was reissued recently as well, and of course we've also got the Hoth Leia, which was actually in the first round of reissues when they started doing that. So really we just need the Han Solo now from Hoth, which would be a really good release. Hopefully they won't repack any of the old ones and actually give us a new one, because some of those figures are dated. The only thing that I could really say that would have improved this figure would be if they added ball hinged hips, because he does have the old style hips, shows its age a little bit there. And also it does have that pet hate of mine where they put the split at the glove rather than at the wrist. That's something that I don't like too often. That you get it on a lot of the Darth Vaders and things like that. But there he is looking pretty cool. I love the sculpting on his jacket. Really nice. And as we go down, you can see all the sculpting work with his pads and everything, and his pockets on his trousers. It looks pretty awesome. And the other improvement that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is that they've actually painted the hinge on the foot. So that is now black. On the previous release, that was actually the colour of his trousers, I do believe. So they have improved that for you. In terms of articulation, the head is on a ball, so you can do pretty much everything that you need to do with that. We have ball hinged shoulders. We have hinges at the wrists. As I mentioned, we have the swivel at the glove. No split at the torso or anything like that. So you literally just have that swivel at the hips. We have the hinge at the knee and then the hinge at the boot, which I mentioned before. There's his blaster, the classic Rebel blaster. Had a lot of those in the past. And then the other accessory that you get are his goggles, which are removable. So you can have him like that. He's got his little communication device on his ear there. with his scarf around his head, looking pretty awesome. And if you want to put that back on, it just squeezes back on like that. So that's pretty cool. I do like those goggles, and you can put them on a little bit better than I have just there, but they just sit on top of there. But they are a rubbery plastic, so they will go over the hat a little bit more. So they look a bit better than that. But yeah, nice accessory to have with the figure. So there you go then, guys. That is the last figure of the wave. What an awesome wave. I think it's possibly the best wave of Vintage Collection figures since the Vintage Collection has come back. 6 amazing figures. Really happy with them all. So there you go then, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and we shall see you on the next one.